Okay, check this out. These are two Sears Coldspot dehumidifiers. The one on the left is the one that we got a year or so ago off Craigslist for $20. That's the one with the other YouTube video that I'll provide a link to in the description. And it's been running perfectly fine since the day we got it out here in the garage. Forgive the condition of the garage. We were working on about 20 different things at once, so organization is not a current factor. What we've got is the hose has been run down to the sump pump, which drains it up and out the wall. And it goes out to the storm drain because there is nothing in this sump pump except stormwater, and discharge from this dehumidifier. So it can, by code, run through the sump out to the storm drain. Now, for what we've touched on in the previous video, but this one right here just for some more information, it's a 1973 Sears Coldspot. It's a model 106.639140, which means it was made by Whirlpool Corporation. It was made in the US, obviously. It is a 14-pint model, and it runs on refrigerant 12, which is the old R12 Freon. Back in the 70s, unlike today's massively bloated, 20-gallon-a-day China Pride dehumidifiers, which don't do anywhere near their stated capacity. When this one is a 14-pint, that means at the bare minimum, in the worst possible condition, it will remove at least 14 pints of water per day before it's actually in a state of not being operable. In other words, if it's 50 degrees out here, it's not going to run, but it's not going to need to because the dew point is going to be such that it's not going to be humid in here. In the wintertime, even without climate control, if it's recently it was up to several degrees negative below 0 Fahrenheit, and the humidity in the garage was like 16%. So there's no need for this whatsoever in the winter anyways. However, the temperature in the garage doesn't usually get below 60 in the winter, no matter what. Okay, now, this one is dirty because I just popped it open. It's been running constantly for a year and a half now. So I do need to clean it up, and that's why I took it apart and made this video, is because it goes to be cleaned right now, just like this one has been cleaned, which I'll get to in a moment. See, this one here has a Whirlpool compressor. Like I said, it runs on R12, and the manufacture date is 1973, 5 of 73 for the entire unit. The fan is actually powered by a Lee Neville electric motor, which was made in Gainesville, Georgia. Lee Neville actually operated from 1909 to 1987, and they are actually the company that invented the electric starter for the automobile. Just a little fun fact there. As you can see in the front, without me going to the trouble of flipping it around, it has a circular aluminum coil on the front with no fins. That is the evaporator. The coil here behind it, that's the condenser, otherwise known as the hot coil, the outdoor coil on an air conditioner. It's really, really dirty, and it has some fins that need to be straightened, but it's okay because I'm going to use this nifty little doohickey here to straighten those fins, like I've sort of done in an amateur kind of way on the old one here. Alright, anyway, like I said, this one here has been running, connected to that drain hose to the sump pump for about a year and a half, and it works perfectly well. Over here, there is a humidifier, a humidistat on the wall that says it's 54% relative humidity. It can be as much as about 70. Turn this thing on, leave it for a few hours, and it brings it down to like 30s and 40s. Works really, really well, even though it's a 14-pint. And again, that's absolute worst case environmental condition. 14 pints is the minimum it'll remove in a 24-hour period. Okay, $20 on Craigslist, sometime at the beginning of last year. This guy here, I found at the thrift store. I believe it was $9.99. It's either $9.99 or $19.99. I just know I remember it being, in my mind, it was cheaper than the one we bought on Craigslist. I don't know its history at all. I do know that 1973 was in use, since new in 73, continuously in a basement in Pittsburgh. When we got it, it was pretty nasty, but we cleaned it up and it still works perfectly fine with all original parts. Okay, this one is actually older. It's a 1972 model. Most everything is the same on it. It actually has about the same compressor. It's a Whirlpool model, slightly different model number. This one is a EE series as opposed to this one here, which is a B series. I'm not sure entirely the difference, but this one does pull slightly more current, and it's rated as 60 cycles as opposed to 60 hertz like the 73 model. So this one here is probably an older stock compressor. This motor right here is an RMR motor. It was made in Elkton, Maryland, and RMR was in business, let's see, it was from about 1959 all the way up until 1989. And they made electric motors for refrigeration equipment, household appliances. They made them for draft inducers on like a furnace or a water heater. They made them for the fireplace inserts. So a fan very similar to this one here would be what would be found in a fireplace that has the circulating fan that you can flip on, and it circulates the hot air out into the room. Anyways, the evaporator coil is very different. It is a linear ribbon design as opposed to a spiral design. And let me just kind of walk around here and give you an example. Here's the 1973 14 pint. It has got a spiral coil, and the 72 has got a linear ribbon type coil. It has already been cleaned up. I just have to put everything back together on it. But anyway, that's what's going on right now. This one is a 20 pint, and it was made March of 1972. So it is a little more than a year older than its 14 pint cousin here that's been in operation in the workshop.